Hey y'all, this is Siddharth from the Turn the Page Challenge, and this is week 2, day 6 of reducing my screen time by 1 hour each week until I hit 0 hours by the end of summer. So, today, the primary thing I did was go to my chess tournament, like I talked about yesterday, and I wanted to just get on here and talk about some takeaways that I had. So, before the tournament, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in my previous recording, but I told myself I was going to do something different to remind myself to look for checks, captures, and attacks for myself and my opponent on every single move. And to do that, I wrote down the letters A, B, C on my notation sheet. And the reason I didn't just write checks, captures, attacks is because, I don't know, I'm a distrusting guy. Didn't want my opponents to get any hints or anything. So I wrote something that only I would understand. And first game, it was, I'm remembering from memory, it was a little shaky, but I think I was consistently better throughout the game. And then I managed to squeeze out a win at the end of the day. That game, I think I was pretty happy with how it played. There were some moments where I don't think I thought my moves all the way through, but overall, a lot better than my games in the previous tournament. So, game 1 went pretty well. Game 2, I built on my success. I think that was one of the best games I've played. I comfortably outplayed my opponent. I don't think I made any bad moves that game. I just gradually built an advantage, took advantage of his mistakes, and eventually built a winning position. To be honest, though, I got the impression that he kind of threw the game away at the end. I think he was just getting tired of being in a worse position, and he saw where the game was going, so he kind of just got it over with quickly. But regardless, a good game on my part. And that takes me to game 3. So game 3, I was slightly worse, I would say. For, actually, I take that back. In the opening, I thought I was doing well. And by the time we get to the end game, you guys wouldn't understand the exact terminology because most of you don't play chess, but I was slightly worse. But then my opponent makes a weird move, in my opinion. And then I managed to get some play back. And now I'm winning. But this is where that overconfident nature sometimes kills me. Because once I start playing a couple of good moves, I tend to forget about everything that got me there. The calculating, the thinking through. And without thinking, I touch my king, thinking to play a move. And as I'm about to play it, I see that if I play that move, I'm going to lose a pawn. And if I lose that pawn, I'm going to lose the game. So I have no choice but to move my king back. And then he's better again. Now, that happened. I defended amazingly throughout the game, though. After this, I kept my head in the game, really fought to the tooth and nail, and managed to get it back to a drawn position. And my opponent offers me a draw. And this is where the title of the video comes from. All or nothing. I had a chance there to take the draw, secure tied first place in the tournament, and that would have been a favorable result looking back. But without thinking, my overconfidence got to me. Again, I took a look at the position at a glance, and I figured he may have a tough time and I actually have some chances because I had a bishop for a knight, which in the endgame is typically considered better, and we had the same number of pawns. But I had time. I should have gone through, calculated, and seen whether or not that was the case. And yeah, I had it all on the table. I took a gamble, and I lost it all. So the reason I mention all this is because risk taking. I don't think there was anything wrong with going, not taking the draw in that position. But I didn't stop to think about whether it was the right thing to do or not. In my head, I always have the never settle mentality, which is definitely a good thing in most cases. But here, it got me. Because whenever someone offers me a draw, I say no. I want to play it out till the end. But I need to take the time to see what is the right decision here. That's the whole point of chess, right? You need to look ahead strategically and then decide, is it right here for me to accept their offer or keep playing? I didn't bother to do that. I just thought, ooh, looks like I'm better. We're just going to play and see what happens, instead of looking at all options presented to me. And it cost me. Sure, I mean, I still had a pretty good tournament overall, but not good enough. So, what I take away from today is assess your options, plan ahead in the future, but more importantly, don't take gambles that you haven't prepared for. Don't put yourself in situations where you are not prepared for all outcomes. And for example, let's say I'm taking a risk with a business or I'm putting money out there. I realize now that I should look ahead, say, worst case, am I okay with losing everything that I'm putting into this? And the answer should be yes if I move forward, because everything you put in, you have the potential to lose. So it's an eye opener because this is a theme throughout my life. I have these concepts in my head, but building the habits to execute them can be troublesome for me. So that's the thought I'm going to leave you guys on today. Think before you do. Think, act. A lot of the times, people do say that don't think, just do, and I agree with that. I've been following that approach this summer, and it's gotten me a lot of results. However, in this particular case, I would say that you don't just act mindlessly. There's a spectrum. You don't just think forever, because then you're not getting anywhere. But at the same time, you can't just act again and again and again without thinking through. There's a harmony in the middle, and that's what we need to reach. Anyway, those are just some thoughts from a high schooler, but let's just talk an overview about two important things. Diet today. Had a pretty healthy lunch, potato curry and some chapatis. I did have a soda at the chess tournament. It was diet though. And I went and got a candy bar after. My parents got some, what do you call them? Ice cream bars. So I ate one of those. And then had some eggs for dinner. So overall, I think a pretty good day. And pickups. Even though I had a chess tournament, I had 110 pickups today, which was kind of excessive in my opinion, because you have to turn your phone off for the entire time you play chess. So that's about like 4 or 5 hours knocked out of the day. So I don't think I was great with the phone. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call the video there. Hopefully you guys took something away from what I was saying in this video. And yeah, get up tomorrow, do something new, do something exciting.